Gaban and Gaban are carrying the fate of Elbaf and the will of Ohara on their back. And looking at what's going on in this chapter, it seems that we have hit a turning point in the arc. We may be entering the climax of Elbaf already. Alright, so out the gate, we get confirmation that all the God Knights are in fact immortal. And the biggest question I have regarding all of this is who is gonna beat Shamrock? Someone who is on Shanks' level, has a mythical devil fruit sword, and is immortal? I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I don't even see Luffy beating him right now. Unless there's a way around the immortality, the God Knights are the strongest group in One Piece. There's a reason why they've been in power for, what has it been, 800 years? But in this chapter, considering that they choose not to take the Straw Hats because they don't want to deal with fighting an emperor, that shows that they have some sort of weakness. If the God Knights were all powerful and their immortality had them at a place where they couldn't be touched, they wouldn't have an issue going up against Luffy. They wouldn't be like, oh, let's not take the Straw Hat crew because we don't want to deal with an emperor. They would just deal with the emperor. So it seems like there has to be something that counteracts this immortality that we have not seen yet. There has to be. While the Straw Hats are tied up, Nami asked Jinbei the same question that everybody was asking last chapter. How could you let this happen? She thought she was safe with having Jinbei at her side, and we all did too. Even with Jinbei by their side, the Straw Hats couldn't do anything against one God Knight. So Nami is valid for asking this question. Nami is valid for hating on Jinbei. Not to say I hate on Jinbei. I understand the situation. I understand it's a new power. He doesn't quite understand it. There are many question marks around that whole entire fight as a whole. But at the same time, currently the way the Straw Hats are tied up right now, they do not look like a Yonko crew. I'm about to hit y'all with a crazy theory. Brook seems to recognize Gunko. Y'all, get this. We just got confirmation that the God Knights are immortal. So Gunko very well could have been alive before Brook died. We were all asking last chapter, why does Brook know about the God Knights? And this is where my theory comes in. We all know Brook always talks about seeing a girl's panties, right? We all know the gag. We all love Brook for it, right? Who is the only female character in One Piece that actively show their panties in the whole entire series? That's Gunko. In the beginning, when we first saw the design for Gunko, we were like, ew, why can't we see her underwear? But maybe the design was purposely like that to show her connection to Brook. Maybe Gunko is Brook's long lost love. Maybe him always asking to see a girl's panties is him missing Gunko. And I know I'm just spitballing here, but it makes sense to me. How else would Brook recognize Gunko, know about the God Knights, and have all this information if they had not had some sort of relationship in his past life? And to tie this theory up in a bow, Gunko loves music. Brook's whole crew was around music. They went around gathering musicians and people who genuinely loved music. So whoever Gunko is, without a doubt, in my heart, I believe that her and Brook had some sort of connection. And I'm all for it. I've been wanting more Brook backstory for a while now. And it looks like we might end up getting it in Elbaf. That's crazy to think about that. Elbaf may just be Brook's arc. And with all that being said, Gunko tries to threaten Brook into becoming her musical slave, and even threatens to kill him. And of course, we know Brook. We all know, for one, Brook is dead. He doesn't care. And for two, Brook is going down with the ship. No one's gonna get Brook to do anything outside of what his captain wants him to do. And that's why we love and respect Brook. While Summers is addressing all of Elbaf, we finally get to see something that I've been wanting to see since we heard about Elbaf, and that's the different villages of Elbaf and how they are different. Because in my head, I was like, there is no way that the warrior giants are the only type of giants that are on Elbaf. Why are these the only... I almost called them lame. Why are these the only giants that are on Elbaf, you know? So it's good to see other villages. We get to see two new regions of Elbaf, the southeast region and the northwest region. In one of the villages we see everyone is holding giant hammers, and in the other village everyone has bow and arrows. Now, with us seeing these new giants, I want them to actually have strong leaders. I love Dory and Bragi, and I think they're great leaders for the giant warrior pirates. In fact, I'll argue that they're the only pirates on that crew, considering how trash the rest of their crew is. It would be so cool to see the different leaders of the different regions and villages of these tribes of Elbaf actually be powerful. And maybe that's how they end up getting the children back. Because Summers broadcast this message to all of Elbaf, maybe Elbaf and all its leaders come together to fight them off. I highly doubt that's how that's gonna go. I've been really optimistic for the Giants for a very long time. Coming to Elbaf has killed that optimism. I don't like the Giants, so I'm still hoping that they regain their sense of powerfulness. And going back to the disappointments that I call the Giant Warrior Pirates, we get to see how their ship ends up getting taken down in this battle. They end up getting attacked by monster versions of their wives. And it's really funny. Ha ha ha. I'm afraid of my wife. I get it. It's cool. It's funny. But I can't help but be disappointed by it. Throughout this whole entire war, the Giant Warrior Pirates have just been getting beat and beat and beat over and over and over again. Like I said, Dory and Bragi are the only exception to this, and it should not be like that. Why is y'all ship going down like this? They didn't even get to the God Knights yet. After the Giant Warrior Pirate ship goes down, we get a map of everyone's current location in Elbaf. I'm not gonna hold y'all, I've been completely lost on where everyone was at in Elbaf. So this map right here is a blessing from Oda. Being able to see everyone on the map and being able to see that everyone is actually closer together than I thought they were. I thought they were scattered across everywhere. The closer everyone is to each other, the closer the possibility is that we may be reaching the climax of Elbaf. And this next part I really do appreciate because we get a much needed introduction to the 10 kids that have been taken by the God Knights. The only kid that I cared about out of those 10 kids that were taken was Colin. All of the rest of them, I didn't even know they had faces. Being able to actually see their personalities and hear their names, it makes me feel for them. It also shows that despite what everyone was thinking about these kids, they don't all think the same. Colin is not the only kid that thinks differently. All these kids have different personalities and different views on how they feel about being taken. Of course, most of them are scared. They're kids at the end of the day. But you have one that's like really nonchalant about the situation. You have another one who's still being optimistic despite what's going on. And you even have one who I really want to get into this one. You have one with horns that's pretty much like, well, at least all of y'all have parents to care about. Wasn't King Harold's whole idea of making Elbaf a more peaceful place was getting rid of ancient giant blood? So why is the one girl with horns the only child that does not seem to have parents? I feel like this can lead into a very dark history of Elbaf, because of course King Harold, he chose to get rid of his horns. But what happened to the ancient giants that did not agree with his peace-loving ideas? Did they get taken out? Even back a couple chapters ago, we got to see skeletons of ancient giants. That's when Luffy was like, oh, these guys sort of look like oars. What if that was her parents? I just feel like this small little comment that she said is going to be delved into more once we get that Loki and King Harold backstory. Summers ends up giving the Giants an ultimatum. Either burn down your library and your school and join the world government, or he's gonna start killing kids. And y'all, it looks like I'm gonna have to give a huge apology to Ange, because every video I've posted about Elbaf, I have been calling her a dirty traitor. But looking at how she responds to the threat of the library getting burned down, she seems to genuinely care about the contribution that the library has to Elbaf. And not only that, she seems to care about Ohara's contribution and sacrifice to the library. So she may just be a good teacher who's just lucky enough to not have gotten hurt at all throughout all of this. The moment Ange brought up Ohara, I already knew who was going to stand up without any hesitation. One thing we know about Robin is that she is going to protect Ohara's will no matter what. So even though Saul told her to stay sitting down, she immediately got up. And at the same time, with his son being in immediate danger, Gaban rushes into action. And with that, we get Robin and Gaban on one panel, ready to defend Elbaf themselves. Seems like the fate of Elbaf really is in the hands of these two. If I were to go back a couple years ago and tell One Piece readers that Gaban and Robin were going to be teaming up in Elbaf in 2025, they would have called that fan fiction. But what do y'all think? Y'all think Robin and Gaban are going to put up a good fight against the God Knights? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video and you made it this far, feel free to like and subscribe. Bye.